Hello.
There you are. Came out of hiding, did you?
I did.
I was wondering where you went. All right. So we we already have 58 likes. We haven't even done anything yet.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. I think we might want to do this again. Although I'm a little bit nervous about this. Everybody has their little first time. This
Well,
is
welcome to
mine.
TikTok Live.
Wow. So how long have you been doing TikTok Live?
Year and a half, at least, because as soon as I got 1,000 followers, where I got the live option, I took it.
You know what I
So,
did? I was like, and I have been doing interview since 2008 on first on Blog Talk Radio. Ever hear of that?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that was my first adventure into interview. Then I moved from Blog Talk to a on air uh, show that was outside of British Columbia, and I yeah yeah yeah. You want to poke your face in here for a hot second?
I don't know. I'm just so petals.
That's one of my
Hello.
daughters.
Hello, lovelies.
Tell them what your screen name is.
Oh, Sergeant underscore Jackass.
And how many followers do you have?
Since I did my latest video, it dropped down to 12.9 thousand because people are snowflakes.
Oh,
They can't be snowflakes, can they not? Can they be snowflakes in steampunk?
yeah.
By the way, I love the outfit.
Thank you. There's all kinds, you know, unfortunately or fortunately. It is a very welcoming community, I have to say. So we pretty much welcome everybody, but there are, there's gatekeepers, there's good people, there's bad people, there's everybody. So, but most people know who's the real deal, who's here to have fun, and who the a-holes are and who to avoid.
Yeah, when I found you originally on TikTok, there was a individual who thought that you couldn't possibly know anything about steampunk because you are a girl.
Yeah. Let's
What
talk
is
about
that
that.
noise about? Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, how this started was there is a lovely musician and rapper by the name of Queen Herbie that I am a longtime fan of. And she was picking out outfits to go to a steampunk party. And, for somebody that's not in the genre on a regular basis, that can be challenging. You go to your closet, what do I wear? What do I do? And she modeled 3 outfits and said, hey, put in the comments what you would like. And I put down, what I thought, what she had most resembled steampunk. I'm like, this, or you can combine these two and you'd get something pretty close. I think it'd be great for you to wear. And of course, there was a nice little troll that hopped along and said, I don't think you know what it is. And of course, I had to shut him down and tell him via a nice clapback video that, oh, yes, I know exactly what it's about. I've been doing this since pretty much 1987, since I was in high school. So, and that was my epic TikTok video where I showed a lot of my art along the way, what I've been doing, what I do with my books. And I do say I'm a Renaissance woman living a steampunk life, and that's what I do.
So now that we've got the ugh out of the way, what are the basics of a steampunk outfit? what do you do? How do you go about starting out someone who is really, really excited about it, but just doesn't know what to do, how to put the thing together? What do
And yeah,
you?
that is a hugely popular question, and you'll see that in a lot of steampunk groups, and a lot of people getting ready for Comic Cons. What do I wear? What do I do? And what I do, like especially in my approach or give advice to people, is start simple. You don't have to buy a costume. Let's say that first of all. You don't have to go out and spend gobs of money. There are pre-made costumes you can buy, but it's easier to say, look at this. It's basically Victorian science fiction. So
Right.
that gives you a huge scope of characters to build on. You think of the Victorian era, science was going crazy, industrialism. You had royalty. You had people all over the world that were under the reign of under Queen Victoria, under the British Empire. The sun never set on the British Empire. Now, in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
it was not good or bad. But again, remember, this is science fiction. It's fantasy. So you can make up your own things. But you've got everything from imperial, Japan and China. You've got East Indian people. You can be an explorer. You can be a scientist. You can be an airship captain. You can be a steampunk chef. I've seen a rat catcher. I've seen a lamplighter,
Right.
chimney sweep. So you can start from there. Pick a character or a profession or something that you like, then start to build on it. And you can, let's say you wanted to be a saloon girl with a steampunk twist. Well, you could find yourself a nice skirt. You do some drops, take some belts and put it around the waist. You don't have to wear a corset. That's another big thing in steampunk.
That,
You see a
that was
lot of
something.
ladies,
Yeah, that was something that I've had a number of people when they found out that we were going to be doing this, they were asking about that.
yeah. So corsetry, that's a it is a wonderful thing, but for some people it can be very confusing or very scary. So I always tell people you don't if you're a woman, and now of course it's for guys too, then people let's clear that up too. Anybody can wear a corset if they like. But if it's too intimidating, you can wear a vest. You can wear a waist cincher or a thick belt. I like to, when I do styling, I like to do sashes, especially women if you're of a certain size or
Because
you're
it
big
makes it more
busted.
comfortable. Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it can
And the
be,
whole idea is to have this affectability that is like you are actually wearing this like all the time, and it's very comfortable and very versatile and user friendly.
yes. And I always tell people if you're going to get a corset, get a good corset fitting. It'd be worth it. Most like higher end bra and ladies lingerie shops carry them and will
Hmm.
have somebody know that will be able to fit you if you would like to do the corset route. And there's all kinds of corsets. There's ones that are built like tank tops. There's ones that are built like halter tops. There's ones that are actually more waist cinchers or under bust. There's ones that are over bust. There's ones that have no wiring. It's just like double stitching that holds it into your body and holds the form. So that's a whole another, ball game and things you
Right.
can get into. A lot of people make their own corsets. That's something that's a little bit out of my league. I've done it before, and I came up with a soft corset because I used leather and I didn't have the materials to sew
And
that
that can be
leather.
molded to your body or
Yes.
molded to a what do they call it? A form. If
Yes.
you have one, you can do that. So you touched on something else that I want people to know. Steampunk is for everyone. Every color, every shape, every age,
Yes.
every letter of the alphabet, everything. And talk to me about your idea of inclusion when it comes to, well, everyone.
Yeah, what's really good is most cons, comic cons, steampunk cons that are out there right now absolutely welcome everybody. And it's very well spelled out. I think we've come far enough with Comic Cons that it's almost implicit in the language that people should not be harassed for who they are or for how they're dressing. So almost every con or event I go to now has some language for that, which is really good because if you think about even only 10 or 15 years ago, it was not like that. It was
Right.
going from being nerdy to being maybe over sexualized, and some people felt like, oh, well, I did buy a costume, it's not good enough. This community, steampunk in particular, is very welcoming. So I have seen people from, babies. Some good friends of mine dressed their daughter up. Her name's April,
Aw.
and she had a little tank the year before last, and she had a little gun. She was a little gunner in this little carriage tank, which was hilarious. This year she was in a hot air balloon with her parents, and her little carriage was a hot air balloon, which was awesome. You have somebody like Doc Phineas, who I don't even know how old Doc is, but he is old Hollywood. He knew people like Tony Curtis, we're
Mm-hmm.
talking, and he's in Vegas, and he's one of the big players that comes out for like Big River Steampunk Festival. And he's openly gay and has a partner. His partner's a wonderful human being, and that gentleman just happens to be black. So, I mean, you've got also, this is the other thing, shape, sizes, colors.
Yes.
People that are read thin to plus size gentlemen and ladies. And there is room for everyone here. I like to say, there's room for everybody on the airship.
Absolutely. So you were talking about different stylings. Walk us through some of the most basic stylings and then kind of bring us up into the more, um, I don't know, exclusive styling.
Yeah, you can do something very simple. Like I said, you start out for guys, you get a button down shirt and a vest if you can. Goggles are huge, always easy, right? Ladies, you get a little bit of jewelry. I've got some really cool rings. This was a thrift ring, like $1 ring, and it did lose some of the cameos in it, but you can start, and again, dollar store rings.
It's still cool.
I go to vintage shops, I go to thrift. Thrifting is huge. You can get little lace hankies, usually for something inexpensive. So you can start with like like I said, a guy, a button-down shirt, women, a nice poet blouse. And you can get again, they've kind of gone a resurgence with prairie dresses. And so
Yeah.
you'll see
Um,
that a lot.
Walked into a couple of like H&M stores and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And
And I'm like,
it had a huge resurgence 2 years ago at Target.
mm-hmm.
And you had the
Oh
guys
yes.
dressing in the prairie
Yeah.
dresses and playing with chickens. Hilarious. Those were some of the first videos I saw on TikTok, and I was just dying laughing. So you can start with a prairie dress like that, and then you can add a corset or a belt. You could add a fun hat. Again, cowboys are a big thing. So cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my prized theatrical hats, and I used to work in a theatrical store. We used to rent this hat, and when they decided to sell off that division, I probably bought about 20 hats, and this was one of them, and it's nice and sturdy. So it's a good theatrical hat. You can find them online, but I always encourage people go to thrift first. And I know it's a little
Right.
competitive right now because thrift is hot again, which is good for the environment.
Yes.
So, yeah, start there. And that's how you start small. Now, the bigger stuff, there's really, really good high end clothiers that you can buy from. There is one company called Pirate Dressing. They do make the real outrageously beautiful brocade and velvet jackets for men and women. They lace up gothic patterns, rococo patterns, steampunky patterns. There's another one called Dracula clothing, I believe, or Dracula outlet. I
Mhm.
can't remember the name right now. But again, that is another big one. They are again pricier, but the fabrics are really, really good, and they are very, very well made.
So I want to thank everyone who has come in to join our live. We have 63 likes. That's pretty cool.
Yay!
And
Yes, folks, if you're here,
I
please tap on the screen. We love
Oh,
it.
please do. Yeah, show us a little, that tappity tap thing that people do.
Yeah, if you
We
give us a
really
little
appreciate
love.
the engagement, and like and share if you like this and you want more content like this, let us know. All right, so we talked some about some of the characters that can be created. Give us a little bit more of an in-depth on the creative character side.
So, like I said, you can pick something you want and then use your cleverness to build on it. What I loved was, like I said, the one guy was a rat catcher. And so he wore kind of like a Peaky Blinders outfit, vest, and a button up shirt. And he actually had a little cage with him, and he added a little like old flashlight to it and a lantern. And yeah, he had a net. And so it's a matter of just being creative. I tell people, let your mind go wild. I've seen people do time travelers, I've seen aliens. One of my other favorite things I've seen is people do mashups. So they'll take that basic, but then mash it with like DC and Marvel heroes
Oh yeah.
or old movies. There was a group last year that was in the at Big River Steampunk Festival that did the Wizard of Oz. Each character, each main character, and they did a steampunk twist on it. So they did things like added goggles and added Western or Victorian clothing to it. Those are always really popular. So you can take those basic professions and build on them. It's always really popular too to add like a lord or a lady or baroness or marquis, royal titles
If you're
or
gonna if you're gonna do the thing, then do the thing. You know, uh, there are people that write steampunk. Uh, yeah. Hi. You also
yes.
write steampunk. That's a good segue that I didn't know I was going to make. But anyway, yeah, you do that. So, but we're going to talk about that a little bit in a hot minute of this. Allow yourself to be able to pick the kinds of things that you enjoy and build on it. And if you need help, then go to someone like Victoria, the Steampunk Countess, and she can maybe answer some of your questions. Let's talk about, since I found you on the TikTok, let's talk about some of the things that they can find on your TikTok and what your TikTok address is.
Okay, so I'm the Countess or the Steampunk Countess, but you can always, if you Google me, Google the Countess, you'll find me on every platform. And it is a funky pen name spelling. It's Szulc for my last name, Victoria L. Schultz. But you Google it, and I'm there. I'm everywhere. I'm all over social media. But to go back to what I do a smattering of everything steampunky. So I do bedtime stories where I read live Monday through Thursdays, usually 10 p.m. Central. That would be 11 Eastern and 8 p.m. on the West Coast. If you are in Great Britain, which I've actually had a few people, I've got a few fans over there, it's about 4 to 5 a.m., depending on which part of Europe you're in to tune in. So I do the live reads. I've done live reads of my own book. I've done mini ghost tours of various locations. I've done
Mm-hmm.
tours of really cool historical buildings. I'm very lucky to live in a city where we have preserved as much Victorian history as possible, which is really great if you belong to the local steampunk group. So I'm part of Gateway Steampunk Society, where we can have these little outings and go to these wonderful spaces and get some great cosplay pictures and things of that nature. So we do some of that, and I do some taping from those events. I do a lot of steampunk styling, and I'm going to try and make it more of a regular feature where you'll see how I do my shoots. I show directions on how to do a shoot, how to style, how a little bit of my writing I've done. I've done reads of my own writing, covered a little bit, done some book recs. So it is a smattering. I am trying to get to 10K followers though to make it a little
Where
bit
are you at
easier for
now?
everybody.
Where are you
Yeah.
at now? What's
I'm
your, do you
at,
know what
oh,
your
I
listing
just
is?
looked before we got on. I was at 8888. I'm at
Oh,
8889 now. So if you guys would like, share and follow me, I would be
tappity
eternally
tap
grateful.
all of that right there.
Yes.
Tappity tap all of
Yeah. If
that.
you're listening, you guys, if you wouldn't mind tapping the screen again, likes
Oh,
help us,
do you want to
help
hear what
our
the do
viewership.
you want to hear what blah 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 blah? I guess we do go blah 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 blah. Do you want to know where we're at right now in the likes? We just hit 401.
Oh, nice. Yay.
They say my
Ah,
like us.
sweet.
All right,
Yes.
let's move it along and let's get some other things out. What do you find inspiring about creating in steampunk? Specifically when it comes to the more tactile part of it.
Oh, wow.
And do you
Okay.
have something that you can be very tactile with while we're talking about this tactile?
Yes. So there's a lot of things. The
Thank you.
fabrics. I am a fabric nut. The band here. And again, I'm kind of a vintage nut, so I love fabrics. Lots of lace, lacy, beautiful things. I did actually buy this cape, but I've made capes. I've made accessories. Love accessories. Love this. Like I said, this ring. It's just got again the little cameos,
It's
but
fabulous.
it's raised and dense and lots of little wonderful touchy things. Gonna pull these out. I know you love
I'm waiting
this.
for this because I've seen them.
So
These are
these are
cool.
my earrings. It's got a nice little spur on there, which makes it a little more steampunky. You can make it more Victoriana if you want. But what this is an actual vintage keyhole plate. And I started using these probably about 10, 12 years ago. I'd find them, and I do actually, this is a matching pair. And I would find them and make jewelry out of them. And I had a huge, obnoxious one. It was massive. And that one I made into this really big statement necklace. It was a double keyhole plate. The poor thing had been buried in dirt, and I brushed it clean, first with like a gentle wire brush, and then really cleaned it off, polished it. It was a stunning, it was probably like a pot metal with a brass finish on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was extraordinary. I didn't sell it for a very long time. I did want more money on it because it was stunning. But it had this wonderful piece that I had to rehab and get in with some WD-40, and it would spin, and it had a cover, and the cover would cover either the top or the bottom keyhole.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a plate that was on somebody's door, and it was just fun. And I added a beautiful round magnified clock fob at the bottom and with a tassel, and I added some other gears and things to a beautiful brass chain that it was on. And even cooler, instead of your typical little like latch, jewelry latch on it, I
Yeah.
used like a frog clip or whatever. I found, again, huge antique event, a Victorian belt clasp, and I used that as the necklace clasp instead
Oh,
of,
wow.
yeah, the leather long gone, but this clasp was beautiful, brass, again, ornate, like a, almost like a filigree, and it made for a beautiful jewelry piece. So it was hard to let go of that piece. And again, talking about tactile, it was just beautiful, stunning.
It's
Where,
very the whole genre in itself has a lot to do with taking things that were discarded or
Mm-hmm.
that people no longer felt use for, and take it and make something useful out of it, but with a regard to seeing how it can be used in the fashion that it can be used. So when you oh, I have like so many questions for you, so I got to stay on point over here. I got
Do you want a recycle idea that I do?
oh, absolutely.
So there's two things, and one of them's really common in steampunk is a lot of people have torn up a couch at some point during their steampunk adventure for the fabric. For either yes, for the fabric. I've had two leather couches I have torn apart, and they just happened to happen at a good time because both times I was moving and both couches were too large for me to move. And I tore them down to bare bones, reused the leather pieces. I donated the cushions to like to Goodwill or homeless shelters because I didn't really have a use for them. Although they would have made great pillows, bases for pillows. So I've torn apart two couches. The other one I do is I eat a lot of protein pudding. Like I get protein powder and I put it in yogurt for health reasons. You know, it
Right,
helps
yeah.
keep me healthy and that sort of thing. So I mean, like the quart sized, containers. And I've gone through hundreds. You know, you think about, I go through like one a week. So that's like 52 in a year. And I've been, doing this as a regular routine for just dietary purposes for like 12 years. I make hats out of the containers. They make perfect mini top hats because they're,
Okay,
they're
that makes
about this
sense.
big. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I reuse them for storage and things, but I have so many really cool pieces of fabric. You know, a lot of people will recycle sheets and lace curtains and go, you find them, they're not good enough maybe to use to put on your bed anymore, but man, do they make some really good capes or, gloves. I've seen people use them to make skirts. I made a lot of bustle skirts out of that sort of thing. Um,
Star the Borrower says one man's trash is another man's treasure.
it is.
Absolutely.
It is. Yes, and folks, feel free to put questions in the comments
Oh
or the
yeah,
interact
please.
button at the bottom, and we will answer. We
If
will
you if
answer.
you have if you have questions, or if you do follow steampunk culture or read the books or watch movies or any of that, and that's what your joy is, go ahead and be a part of the conversation. We would love to have you. Absolutely. So let's see.
And while you're
Importance
looking
in
at that, I'll just show you. Okay, we're going to squeeze in a little bit here. See
sure.
that? That's part of the couch. That's a corset.
Oh my.
Yeah, and another piece of fabric. So that fabric on my hat actually was a pair of striped pants I used to go clubbing in the 1990s. But it's perfect. It's a black and brown stripe fabric that I love. So it's part of it's on that corset that I made, and yeah. So reusing is a big thing. Upcycling, it's a wonderful thing to have as part of steampunk culture.
We have too much garbage in the garbage
We
thing,
do.
and there are too many useful things that are being put out in the garbage. What do you mean by working hard but make it look easy?
Oh, that's a talent. It's
Yes,
it.
yes,
I
it is.
I love it. I take it as the biggest compliment. I was working with some people, did a photo shoot for a couple ladies yesterday in the Lemp Brewery, which is haunted. Fabulous. One of the most haunted places in America.
Give a
And
shout out for the real of where it is, since you
yes,
just
it is
did that.
the Lemp Brewery. It is St. Louis Paranormal Society runs tours out of there. And then you can also go to the Lemp Mansion, which is owned by a separate group, but the Paranormal Society does tours out of there. And yeah, you can eat there. You can go to the bed and breakfast and spend the night, which I have done a couple times. And I've been on haunted tours and had a dismembered head go floating by and scare people. Yeah, it's really haunted. So yeah, so back to these ladies, I was doing that and I was giving them all these tips, and I work very quickly. It takes a lot of energy to do that. I give it freely because to make yourself that vulnerable to create that kind of art with people, it takes a lot of, again, vulnerability and it takes a lot of energy. And I think it just makes
Absolutely,
me so
because
happy that it's part of the thing that it
you're
makes it look easy.
you're taking that all that creative juice and you're putting it into a thing and you're making it, and then you don't want to hide it. You want to take it out and you want to let somebody see what it is. What was All right, well then here, let's go there. What was it like when you had your first piece and you took it out into the world, even if it was just around the block?
Yeah, that was a great one. So that was one of my first pieces. I actually was quite a bit thicker at the time, so I had to combine it with another fabric, but I got it to work. And I had an old curtain as my skirt. And this was 2012. And I got the little thingamabobs together. And I built my first hat. And oh, hey, Practically Magical is here. Hi, that's a good friend of mine. Hey, Carrie. She was one of my ladies. I just talked about you, Carrie, about our photo shoot
Ooh. So
yesterday.
her ears were burning.
Yes,
Mm.
her ears were burning. So I got this together, and I wanted it to do it for Halloween, and which I did. And we have the coolest chess museum and Hall of Fame is here in St. Louis. They have a massive chess piece, and I went out and posed with the chess piece and on Halloween. It was not my best pictures ever. I had probably what did I have? I think I had a digital camera, old school, from like 2009, maybe. So that was the first time I wore something steampunk to a big outdoor non-steampunk event. So the Halloween party I went to is the Central West End Halloween party here in St. Louis. It
Mhm.
is massive. It covers about 4 blocks, and there's regularly about 10,000 people show up for the evening. It's packed
Wow.
wall to wall. It's massive, and I had the best damn time. It was so much fun. So I took that piece later, what you saw there, and the first hat that I built, and then I it was about a year or two later, and I put that in one of the first steampunk art shows here in St. Louis at Szulc Art Gallery. So it was, to ask you how it was amazing. It was a wonderful experience to be able to show it, and people, that's when people start saying, "Oh yeah, that's really cool." And it was nice to get recognized because later on they asked me to start jurying or judging those art shows for Soulard Art Gallery.
That is when you know that people respect what you have to say and that other people should really pay attention to what's going on. I want to say hello to Miss Dot MC11. Thank you for joining. And tappity, 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 please, and thank you. And if you have any questions, just drop them down below.
Yes, and if
Sure.
you all wouldn't
Yeah.
mind, we'd love it if you tap the screen a little bit because that gives us hearts, it gives us likes. And I see on my end, I got Chandelier. Oh, I love that name, like Shan, Shann. I love
That's pretty
names.
cool.
That's clever. And Star the Borrower. Thanks, you guys. Star, thank you for the follow. I see
Yes,
that. I see you.
absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much.
So finding time to recharge a car cannot run on an empty tank. So I know you have a lot
Yeah.
of different kinds of projects that are going on. What do you do to be able to recharge yourself and make these really fantastic pieces and books and photographs?
Well, we talked about me working so hard and making it look easy. You know, I burnt out before, and it's harder to get up, especially when you're from getting a burnout, especially once you get older. I'm not going to lie, I'm on the north side of 50, and I'm just well
You're looking pretty
preserved.
good. Yeah.
Thanks. I am wearing, I can tell you my makeup routine a little later, but you realize you have to recharge. It is
Yes.
not a it's it's not a gift. I mean, it is a gift, but I mean, it's not. oh, something I take lightly anymore. I've almost died a couple times in my lifetime. You start valuing who you are a little more, what you have to give, what you offer. And you can't keep offering like that if the well is dry. You have to let that well fill
Right.
up. So I tend to, sleep in at least 1 or 2 days a week. If I know I've got a huge day ahead and I have to get up early, I make sure, or it's like a big weekend, for example, like Big River Steampunk Festival, it's always like, boy, you hit June 1st and all of a sudden you're in the marathon. I mean, you're already in the marathon, but now you're in the sprint mode because now you've
Right.
got 2, 3 months to get ready for this event. So I make sure to schedule vacation time. If it's not right afterwards, because it's usually involved in vacation time, I started doing, people say, well, it's over on Labor Day, so you'll be on Tuesday, right? I'm like, no, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday. We don't do that anymore. I've done that too many times where you go on a trip and you need a vacation from the vacation. So another way I manage, stress and sleeplessness and anxiety when you're trying to get a major project done. I do meditate, do a lot of yoga. I do, especially morning yoga every day. Try and get an air of gratitude. Gratitude. I have some chants that I do that are very
Hmm.
basic. Don't take very long. And my other favorite thing, I invested in a sauna blanket, infrared. It does something with your with inflammation, and we know that inflammation causes, on the health side, a lot of diseases.
Yes.
So I tuck in there, and it's only an hour, and you can roast in there if you want. You can turn it all the way up to 10. I need a 4 or 5 tops. If I need a detox, I'll put it up to 7. But you will sweat, or you can just be warm. And on the days I'm having a really rough day, I curl up in there, take a nap for it. It only goes for 50 minutes. You let it warm up for 10, so you're in there about an hour. But
Hmm.
it's amazing. Yeah, it's a great way to recharge. I love that. That and hot baths, man. I'm a bath taker. I get in, I just fishy, fishy, come out all wrinkly like a prune. Love it. Love it
So
more
it's
than
it's really
showers.
it's really important to recharge. So your current work in progress is the Countess Collection fashion book. Let's talk about that and where you are in your marketing.
So this book has been a dream of mine for a very, very long time. And as I started getting asked to do all of these wonderful shoots, people started recognizing my work. It started kind of with Facebook, but then it branched out to Instagram. I've had people contact me through Twitter and other social media. Now it's happening through TikTok, of course. This is my
Mm-hmm.
social media of choice. And so I started piecing together all these shoots and going, this is really good work. I need to feature this. And usually every year I try and pick a big project or two if they're like a half project to work on. So I wanted to do this fashion book. It's a huge dream. I started compartmentalizing. I have a huge planner. I have 3 different books that I use, which I'll show you here in a second to implement this. But the idea is to invite people into my society, my universe, and which I have built, and that'll come back more when we talk about writing. But this project with the book, I have to tell you, it's so fulfilling because I get to work with some of the coolest people. Some people that are not entirely steampunk, but they're maybe more gothic, or they're just a really damn good photographer or a really
Right.
good stylist. So all the pieces in the book have some part of me in it. Either I've styled the shoot and created the pieces, and I have made the hats, come up with the theme, or found the location, hired the photographer, done the shooting myself, editing myself, and or promoted it or helped host it. So I've got all these wonderful people I've worked with that's going into this book. And after doing this, as an art form, probably kind of started around 2007 solidly as the sole art form that I really follow.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of work to feature. And everything from pictures I've taken with sculptures I've done, and cool warehouses and haunted houses and museums. And I've just fallen into some really, I would call them almost like blessed connections, happy accidents, places that are just amazing. I'm just really lucky. Like I said, the area I live in, St. Louis, we've got just the buildings here and the architecture and everything is amazing. So, you want to see the
Building,
books?
oh yeah, books.
All right.
Books.
So, I always loved it. So I start with, a few years ago, I got the massive, I call it the planner. So I did finally get one of these huge planners because last year, despite having a bunch of issues, it kept me on point. Otherwise, I think everything would have went to hell in a handbasket, and
Hello
I
and
was back
welcome
to,
to
yeah, doing,
all of the new people here. We love
yes,
to,
great.
yeah, we are just moving along. We are talking about steampunk genre, and we are here with Victoria, who is the Steampunk Countess,
Hello,
and
lovelies.
she has been regaling us with all of these really cool things that she does within the genre. So yeah, if you like what's going on here, please tap 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 and like her page because yeah, she's amazing and
Thank you.
maybe you like mine too. So go
Yes.
please go ahead. Yes, please.
Yeah, and I'm going to say hi. I see Holly Poe jumped in. Hello. So, I have a wonderful book. I love this. This is my dream book. It's my notebook. And this one, this is like intense notes. Look at that, all of that stuff for different projects, shoots, what's going on, inventory, because I am also part of St. Louis Haunted Mansion, and we're going to have monthly events there starting soon. We've got our first Mardi Gras night market coming up.
Oh,
And then
that's
again,
really
things I'm doing with the Paranormal Research Society here in St. Louis. Love this. This is my sketchbook. What I like is I still say, I live my art. When my sister-in-law gave this to me after I almost died, I love this. I live to sketch. And of course I do. And so this will be filled with different things that will go in the book. And let me flip to one here. It's kind of basic, but it's a start. And this is for one of the themes. There's a little sketch of the outfit, some of the things like accessories. Oh, you can't seem to tap tap? Practically magical, Carrie? Yeah, just hold your finger on the screen and kind of tap it. Little hearts will appear. That's how you guys tap tap. Yeah. You can also do the share. Even if you just copy the link when you share, it makes a big difference. We love it.
Oh,
So there's,
I can do it too.
yeah, let me see if it'll let me. Sometimes it depends if I'm the lead or if you're, the lead. It depends.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
it won't. Yeah.
Oh, it won't let me.
Oh,
What the heck?
I,
But
yeah. I don't think you can tap in your. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the shares, guys.
we need a tapping war here. Tap
Yeah.
tap tap.
Tap, everybody. Tap it. So the most cool thing, is everybody ready? This is massive. I love this. I call this my Bible. Okay. Look at
Oh
this.
yes, I saw this last
So
night. It's very
I
cool.
said if I'm going to do this, it's going to be amazing. So what the book will have and what I am hoping to have as an option is either a leather or a pleather cover option that they can buy. It's going to be a coffee table book. It's not like a simple paperback, which I have those, but I want to do something fancy. Like these are like, the little corset latches and that opens. See? Yeah, nice. What I love
That's
about this too, yeah, it has the tree of
yeah.
life on it. So
Oh
again,
wow.
life, living, all that good stuff, living in steampunk life. And so what is going to go in here right now, it's empty, but I love it. It's got, the nicer thick craft paper in here. Look at all that prettiness. And it's just something beautiful. The back, look at the detailing on the back. So what's going to go in here is how the book is going to be laid out. I'm going to cut and paste pictures. It'll be an old school like paste up or I will print out pages so I can get a better idea. Look at that. See that? Ooh.
Look at
See,
all the
talking about
texture in there.
tactile. Feel. I don't know if anybody's old as I am, but anybody remember Ricardo Montalban talking about rich Corinthian leather in car commercials in the 70s? Okay, I'm dating myself. But anyway, yeah,
Hi,
I'm
Chris
getting,
Costco or Chris Taco Taco. My eyesight is cruddy. I need to go see an eye person.
yeah, mine just retired, so, but
Magnet
I got some colored
216 just joined. Thank
contacts and
you.
new glasses,
Please
so.
tappy tappy tappy.
Yes, and thanks. Oh, Carrie, thank
Yes.
you for sharing the live. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
and yes, that yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, we can share. Please
Yes,
share,
you can,
like,
the
share.
little arrow button down at the bottom, guys. And you know, we are taking questions. So if anybody wants to
Yes.
ask a question, there's an interact button at the bottom. It'll bring it up and then it'll pop up where I can check it. It'll give me a little signal and I'll look at it. And don't be shy, guys. You can ask anything you want within reason. Wink, wink. You know, I always say I don't violate policies, folks. Not with TikTok. I got shut down on a live once because there was a segment I read from one of my books that had a lot of questionable language in it. So, yeah, I got a little enthusiastic with my reading. So, but yes. Oh, hi. Hey, Marsh Maven. Nice to meet you. I see you there. So, yeah, so that's all going in this book. I hope to have it out by June 1st and or to publishing, and it will make its debut at Big River Steampunk Festival this year. And yeah, part of that you were asking about the promo and the marketing, and it is for all of my art in general. But I'm going to ask if you want to join the society with me. Yes, and like a lot of steampunk books and things, there's always a secret society. You know, it's kind of like the Masons or you know something
Oh
of that
my
nature.
dear.
You
My
know, Society of
we should
Witches.
share a glass of wine at some point and we'll have a
Oh yeah,
induction.
I'm ready for Big River. I mean, it's gonna be this year. Yeah, if you make it down, it's gonna
Aster
be.
the Queen 30 just joined. Thank you so much for doing that. I even though I'm not doing this the show on live, I still have a lot of buttons to push on here. I really wish that I could like send the photos and all that we had. So I have a page on Facebook. It's Jackie Chin Medium. And on there, you'll find everything that there is about any of the shows that I do, but especially about the Indie Files with Jackie Chin, which is what this is right now. This is a segment of it because Zoom was all
Zoom.
screwy this morning. So, but it's not a bad thing. You get in there and you can like, although it's a little scary, talk about scary and trying new things and all of that, and what that's like for you.
I will tell you, and a lot of people, they're like, no, this never happened. Yes, it did. I went through a period in between when I was 16, 17 for about 6 months. I was severely agoraphobic. I suffered crippling anxiety after a long illness with strep throat. Started out kind of like a cold, then I got the strep, and it was bad for weeks afterwards. And I had an extreme case of agoraphobia where, you know, and I'm in my middle teens. Life is good. I had just started learning how to drive, and I was crippled, literally, you know, dealing with horrible anxiety. Once I got past that, and what I had was what they call now they call it exposure therapy, where they just get you out of the house. So I had some of that where literally my mother came with me to school to help me unwind, relax, and get back to some sense of normalcy. And by the time I was a senior, I was highly intelligent, so I was just rolling with easy classes, looking forward to college. But what I learned from that experience is to not be afraid. You're going to screw up. You're going to mess up. It'll be okay. It will be. I used to get so nervous doing public speaking, and sometimes I get a little bit before, but really, hey, Doc! Doc is here! The Doc Phineas! Hello, Doc! Doc, welcome! Hey, Doc! Oh, this is awesome. Hello, Doc. You can
Wow,
say hi in the comments.
I would love to, like, have him pop on for a hot second.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's got enough followers yet, but Doc, yeah, Doc, you guys, if you see Doc Phineas, please give him some follows so he can go live on TikTok. Yeah, so I had spoken about him earlier. Again, steampunk is ageless. Again, everybody from little baby April last year in her hot air balloon to Doc at Big River. So we had all kinds of fun people there. So
It is very lovely to be able to have something that so many people can enjoy. And it really is it's not a fad, it's a thing. It
mhm.
is a empire of all sorts of people from all over the planet too.
Yes, everywhere. All
So talk a
everything,
little bit
every
about how these people from around the globe have affected your work and you as a creator.
well, it's like I've got the base in history and the rest of it is just my wild imagination. And and it's true. My mind goes places that are just bananas and I love it. And again, I used to suppress it, and that's part of going back to I used to suffer from severe anxiety, and I don't anymore. I jump in, things will go wrong. You just learn to fly by the seat of your pants because all kinds of magic happens when you do that. So, seeing all these wonderful cultures, I get inspired by all kinds of wonderful things. During that era, in particular, the Victorian era, you have all of this wonderful history. And like for example, we just had this huge chintz exhibit at the art museum, at the St. Louis Art Museum.
Oh,
I had to buy like the book because the patterns from that came from East India were so amazing. And I was like, I've always wanted to make a steampunk pattern like that. So that was direct inspiration. Hi,
mhm.
steampunk. I'm going to say it show because wink, wink. I don't want to get. Hello, thanks for joining.
And we have
Um,
Wanda Kostick.
hey, Wanda,
Hey,
welcome. Hi,
welcome.
lovelies.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
And so I was fascinated by other cultures. I was fortunate that I loved social studies in school, and so we would talk about. Oh, I guess it was like fifth grade. We talked about Japan. We talked about East India. We talked about South America, Greco-Roman culture with gods and goddesses, and so I was just really fortunate that I had teachers that saw how enthused I was and just threw more at me and I absorbed it like a sponge. And I love these interesting little crazy. Hi Lynn. Oh sorry, somebody else I know is here. Hey Lynn.
Cherry Bombard came in and Master Destroyer.
Oh, I love that name. That's
Dun, dun, dun,
awesome.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Please tappity, tappity, tappity. We got stuck
Yeah,
at
thanks for the likes
2.7.
guys.
Tap,
Yeah.
tap, 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 tap.
Tap, tap, tap. Later on, I will have gifts in my subscription, and that will go back to the announcement will come March 1st about how you can join the society if you would like
Good
to.
Helping Others has just
Yes.
joined. Hey, help us
Yay.
out. Tappity
Yeah,
tap.
help us. Would you give us some taps,
I don't
some
know.
likes,
I think
please?
we got stuck or
Yeah.
something.
It happens. It goes in phases. So,
Yes.
but yeah, so I've been really lucky with that, learning, just really inquisitive about other cultures and seeing actually how clever people come up with these other ideas and then molding them into characters in my books. Because again, the sun never set on the British Empire, and all these spies come from all kinds of places, and the society infiltrates every pillar of society.
Just talk about your books since you segued into that.
Yeah.
Bam! This lady's got books, and I do mean books. And
Yes.
they're rating pretty high on the Amazon book list and all of that. She is really
Yay.
a uh, fortress of amazing content. So let's talk about your books.
Yeah. So I, of course, like have all this wonderful background and this vivid imagination. And I also take things from real stories and real history and twist it into the science fiction. So when I started, I wanted to do a female gunslinger, and it was lightly based on characters I'd seen in other westerns that they were what is it, The Quick and the Dead with Leonardo DiCaprio and what's her name? Sharon Stone. I just loved her character in that movie. And I wanted to make someone who had a past and ran away to get from that past and goes to a small town that's on the verge of demise because it's the late 1800s and these towns are becoming ghost towns, and weave it into her story of how she gets recruited by this network of fabulous spies, and they have their own tenets and where they came from and how they work and how there's double agents and who the villains are called the mass. And yeah, there's all kinds of heroes and heroines. And I do write more female based heroines. There are heroes, there are romantic leads, and there are, yes, black and white people and people of color, and there are all kinds of people on the rainbow spectrum from, cross dressing spies and gay spies that, because again, some are even nuns and priests and shaman and Native Americans. And, again, the idea is these spies have to infiltrate everywhere in society, and they do it all for the greater good. So, so that's how I got started. And now I have a young adult heroine in A Dream of Emerald Skies, and that came
Mhm.
from, oh, hey, Mariah,
We have
welcome.
we have Hella Melanin and Pumpkin 96. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, pumpkin. I love that. My mom used to call me pumpkin, and I'm a big Halloween nut. I love Halloween. Can you tell? I mean, look at my collection of stuff in the back. Sorry, I'm looking in. Yeah, my bookshelf is my steampunk bookshelf back there with all my fun little gadgets and stuff.
We're
But
talking about steampunk and the genre of steampunk and how it's very inclusive and the different kinds of things that the Steampunk Countess does for and with the steampunk community. Go
yes,
ahead. Yeah,
and
yeah,
hi, Alec. I see you too. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the likes, shares, and follows. I super appreciate
absolutely.
that.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Splendid. Thank you for being so splendid. Um,
Very splendid.
Yeah. So, and I was talking about some of the characters. I have a young adult heroine that's kind of like reminds me a little bit of Katniss, but her book, her series, the Young Society series, is based on the first book, A Dream of Emerald Skies, is an homage to my love of the Wizard of Oz. I love
Hmm.
Victorian literature, so you've got things like, you know, like I said, like the Wizard of Oz. You've got all these wonderful sci-fi books by H.G. Wells and that sort of thing. I'm heavily inspired Edgar Allan Poe, all those books. But that book is a direct correlation to the Wizard of Oz and the musical Wicked. So yeah, you're gonna see some more homage to that in the fashion book. I have a
Jimmy
hero.
Adamu just entered. Hi, welcome.
Yay! Oh, and thanks, Shisho. I'm gonna again change the name a little just for non-violation reasons.
Yeah, we don't want
Thank
to
you
get
for liking the live. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so I've got my gunslinger. I've got my young adult heroine. I have an Asian heroine, and she is a gifted woman who has dreams and visions, and
Mm.
people want her for her talents. So the masks and the society are fighting over her and which path should she choose. And yeah, so there's a lot of variety and things to choose from. The Long Reign, the Time Traveler series, I do tell people it is dark, gothic, romance, steampunk. It's a little more adult. It may not be for everyone's taste. Dream of Emerald Skies is young adult friendly. The Strax and the Widow borders on dark romance. It is a with a they almost call it Weird West now because it
Hmm.
is a mix of steampunk and sci-fi with a western. Um, but that whole first series, the first Basic Society series, is based on your three kind of main tropes or genres of Victorian literature. You know, you have your western. The second book is like a spy mystery novel. And the third is romance and adventure. So you've got all these lovely tropes and themes, these three major ones running through the first three books, which provide the basis for all the other books branch out from that first series. And so I have
And where can we
multiple
find these?
series going on
Where can we find these?
everywhere. I love to say that. I'm wide, more than my hips. I got dad ass, as they say, and I got dad ankle in we say in steampunk, dad. But yeah, so the ebooks are on every electronic platform. So of course Amazon, iBooks or Apple Books, Google Play Store or Google Books, Barnes and Noble, and then I use what's called an aggregator or a basis company that sends them out to other small retailers and big
Hmm.
retailers too. So you can get those. And again, I always love to tell people you don't have to buy a Nook. You don't have to buy a Kindle. You can download the apps now. If you are Apple friendly, you have an iPhone, you have a tablet, laptop, you can download the iBooks app and you can read. And most of the books start, I have short stories, I have full novellas, I have some really thick novels coming soon. And most of the ebooks start somewhere between 99 cents and $4 or $5, depending on how big they go. And then I do have paperbacks on Amazon, but very soon you'll be able to get them at other places as well, like Barnes and Noble. So I'm continuing to go wide in my reach, and I'm working on audiobooks as well. And of course, the coffee table book, which
Right.
I'm pretty excited about. Again, it's a lot of work. I've got a lot of work coming, but I'm so spurred on and inspired right now. I am lit like a fireworks on the 4th of July. I am just so excited for the things
It's
coming up.
So, what's the most important project that you can discuss freely that where you felt that you made an advance in your steampunk knowledge?
Oh, one that's so cool and kind of relates to some of the other art that I do. There's one project that was so awesome. I do some large scale things, and I have been chosen several times to do large public works of art. One was for called the Harry and Hanley Project for the Animal Protection Association. There were
Mm-hmm.
dogs and cats all over the city, and they were sculptures, and I painted one. And I had a cat, and I did the Clockwork Cat, and he's painted with all kinds of references. There's chess pieces. There's a pocket watch. He's got a pocket watch on his checkerboard vest. He has flora and fauna because the Victorians were really big on insects and plants and documenting these things. And there's a little nod to Poe. There's like a crow and birds. There's those funny little things. Like there's a bird in the hand. The one hand has a robin or a bluebird painted on the inside of the hand. So there was like all these references coming together with my loves for dogs because as you see behind me, that huge charcoal drawing was one of my big college masterpieces from 30 years ago. And that was my dog. And that is charcoal. So I'll show you again. So that was just a really cool opportunity to not only benefit like a steampunk community or the community in general, but community that rescues animals. And
Hmm.
so there that's a big part of my heart. I can't have a pet where I'm at right now, but it was a huge step. And the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals were part of the sponsors, and we did an unveiling, and one of the marquee players, Jim Edmonds, like pulled the cloth off my piece, and it was just really cool. It got featured on TV and everything. But at the heart of it, oh, and I forgot to say, it was where it was displayed for a few months was the airport. So at Lambert International Airport. So thousands of people were going by this every day. And I got to cosplay with it. And my university featured me cosplaying with the art and sent somebody. And that got written up. So it was a big turning point for me in saying, here I am, here's my art, and it's art for good too, on top of it
Guess
all.
what? I'm on your. I looked at your page right now. You are now at 8,890
Yay!
8,890 followers. You have 1,407,000 likes. Woohoo!
Yes! Woo!
Zero. All right.
Thank you guys. Yeah, and people are
Absolutely.
tapping.
Yeah.
I've got 280 likes over on my side here, so I love it. Oh, I've got it. We do have one question from the Steampunk It Show, and again, I have
Sure.
to.
Go.
Yeah. So he asked, or they asked, because I don't know which you are. So, do you have any advice for a young steampunk artist? And yes, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Do what you feel good, what is good for you. You will have people that tell you you can't do it. Don't listen ever, ever, ever. I love when people give me a challenge and tell me I can't do something because you know what? I'm going to turn around and do it. And I have done some crazy things, maybe not the greatest crazy things. I've jumped off a 30-foot cliff before. I was kind of challenged by my older siblings and I was only 14, but it was fun. Anyway, but to but to say that go ahead and use that imagination and don't be afraid to make mistakes because that's what makes you a good artist. I can't tell
Absolutely.
you how many chances I took to put myself out there and knowing that I might get a rejection. I might get a gatekeeper. Somebody says, you can't do this. No. Or the funds aren't there. You'll find a way. You will find a way. And there's ways of doing things and make friends with people. I can't tell you how important it is to go ahead and meet people, even if you're shy. Get a good group of friends with you that support what you do. If you don't have a good supportive family, and I'm lucky my mother was a champion of my art from day one. I was like in kindergarten, and the kindergarten teacher said, this kid's got it. And my mom just says like, here's all the creative materials you want. So do that. Do the
Hmm.
thing. Do what you want to do. I guess when you get, especially to my age, life is too damn short. I've lost my dad, two aunts and an uncle in the last 3 years, and you just know that and like one of my dad's second cousins. I think of all the death that's happened in the last couple of years. Life is too short. Do it now. And again, don't be afraid of mistakes. Jump in. Okay, reason to ask, guys. The wife and I run a steampunk-based store, and it's going poor everything. Oh, okay. It's all handmade. Oh, wow. So do you want advice on how to run the store or how to market it? I guess. Do you want to ask that or you know,
We
um
have a marketer. I have with my show that I do. I have a lady by the name of Pollyanna, and she is fabulous. She has 15 years experience in doing social media marketing and all that. She's a very good listener, and she works with small business. That's her specialty. I could, message me if you follow me, message me, and I could, get you guys to have a conversation. If you don't like what she has to say, then you don't like what she has to say. I do have another gentleman that I'm bringing on I think the. Let me check my book.
oh, you lost your marketer recently. Okay. Oh, I will tell you, I do have a background in art. I have a bachelor's degree in art, and I started my master's in communications and marketing. So I know all the basics. I worked in radio and TV for a while, but I will tell you what she is telling you now is I needed a fresh look at what I was doing. And
Right.
I actually just met with Pollyanna last week. Um, and I will tell you, you probably have to make some
P.S. This
sort of
was not an
investment.
advertisement for her.
Yeah,
She's really good at what she does, and I'll let you go. I
yeah,
didn't know you were going to say her.
she's amazing. She got me from within the first few minutes, and she said, "I want to work with you. What do you want to do? What are your goals?" She asked me all the right questions. So, I highly recommend you if you want DM Jackie, and Jackie, you want to tell them your header again or where you're at, or like what's in your thingy.
What's in my thingy? Trust
I know it's like I'm the Steampunk
my
Countess. What are you
thingy.
known as? Zombie Palooza? What is it? Is it?
Zombie Palooza Radio Live. It's Zombie Palooza and then underscore live. And it's I'm in the comments section because I liked the video and I shared the video. So my information is on that side, but it's Zombie Palooza Radio underscore live, and I can get you to have a conversation with her and see if she can help you. And if she can't, then I know some others that can, from the extensive background that I have with doing interview and bringing people on that just do the thing.
Yes. And I can tell you, I know, like I said, I have a ton of marketing experience, but I really needed a fresh face. I, I'm at a
Right,
point where I need more time to create. I don't have enough time to create. So
right.
yeah, I needed to get in with somebody to help me market more and
Once
again,
you
give me
get
a
to a
fresh
certain
perspective.
level, once you get to a certain level, you need extra hands to be able to help push the ship along. And you can't possibly do everything well, and there's going to be something that's going to suffer.
Hmm. And I see you got a question because right now you're doing farmers markets. That's a great place to start. I think I don't know where are you located? Are you near anywhere where they have any of the big steampunk conventions? Because there are a ton, and I can refer you to a whole bunch. What state are you in, or what area? Oh, you're in Nebraska. Okay, so you're not too far from coming to Hannibal, Missouri. Hannibal,
It's
and it's
true.
over
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend. I don't know if they're sold out of booths, but Big River Steampunk Festival is now the largest outdoor steampunk festival
Do
in
you
the
have a
United
contact over
States.
there that you could maybe pop
Yeah,
out
so
or
if you want to go over, they have a steampunk group and a page on Facebook, and so you'd have to go over to Facebook for that. They don't really have a presence here on TikTok yet, so but if you go over to there, and it is her name is Tammy, and she is the owner of the festival, and you can message her through Facebook, her Facebook page, which is the Big River Steampunk Festival page, and she can give you all the information and what's available. Um, it may be something where even if the booths are sold out, she may be able to work with you in some other way, like if you were to volunteer or something, but you would have to talk to her. But she took over the festival over 2 years ago, got it from thousands of dollars in the red and into the black within the first year. She is amazing. So, oh, transportation's a bit of an issue. Okay, well, I can recommend too, besides talking to Polly, is, TikTok, of course, is my
you have
social
a
media of
page.
choice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, do tell them what the page is.
Yeah. So, with what you can do here on TikTok, if you can build your following, I would say be authentic on your page. Start featuring your process. You'll see some of my videos. I do unboxing of costume pieces that I've received or shopping hauls where I've gone to vintage stores and how I style things, how I make things. You're going to see a lot more of that with the fashion book like. And I do live reads. Once you get to if you've got 1,000 followers, you can go live and show people, hey, I'm creating life. This is what I'm making. And then in your bio, one of the things I do because I'm on so much social media, I have a website, I've had stores in other places, is do a link tree. And that's everywhere that somebody can find you. And in your link tree, you can even accept, I love this, donations through PayPal and Venmo or Cash App. I just always am just say, tell people to please, be careful,
Right.
and watch out for the scams because they're out there. People saying, well, can I send you a gift card? It's like, well, yeah, you can send me a gift card, but I'm not buying anything for you and I'm not giving you any money back. So, but yes, so thank you. And thanks for the taps. Yeah, I'm seeing some hearts go up, guys.
Hey, there's
Yes.
KR Chin is in the house. Tap that screen. Get me up to like
Yes.
3,000 some odd likes. Tap,
Yeah. I
tap,
see.
tap, tap on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Like
On my side,
like
I've
that.
only got
Tap, 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 tap.
280, but yeah, 280 is nice. I'm happy. Yeah. I
I
see
know, right?
FBD 671. Welcome. I saw
Yes,
another
welcome.
author come up for a minute. I don't know if they're still here, but yeah. So I hope that helps. So maybe you could get at least, even if you don't have a shop, if you could have people, either go to, any kind of link where you can sell and and your link to your Facebook store. That's fantastic. So you can sell through there. I know
Okay.
Marketplace is going to change. There's changes coming. I have to investigate that a little bit because I've had some things on Marketplace. It was okay for me. It was not successful. I've had other platforms where I did much, much better in my ratings, but I always say find your niche, and they will find you, and you may do better on Facebook than most people. So, yeah. I hope that's helpful. I hope that's a wealth of advice that you could use. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I've shown in art galleries. I've done pop-up shops. I've done bars. Dive bars are fun. They're really a lot of fun. If you get an opportunity with where people are drinking, and the more they drink, the more they like your stuff. It's a nice thing. I don't know if they have buyer's remorse
Now
later,
wait a
but
minute. They
it's
should
fun.
like your stuff before they do that. But then they should really, really, really like your stuff and like get all their buddies in there to go and hey, you need to do this. Absolutely. So let's see here. Building a steampunk universe that is much like the DC Marvel universe. I know you talked a little bit about that. Do you have anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah, I just I was really influenced by Wonder Woman as a kid. I guess I was really lucky that, as crazy as the 70s were and still kind of obnoxiously sexist in a lot of ways, the heroines we had were really cool. You had the Bionic Woman, you had Charlie's Angels. I mean, they could wear a swimsuit and kick your butt, in a
Mhm.
bikini. And again, some of it was over the top, but at the same time, I'd watch all these shows until my parents were like, you can't watch this scene, cover your eyes, because I had good Catholic strict parents. But yeah, I loved Wonder Woman and the Bionic Woman, and all these characters like got me inspired to create a similar network of heroes where each of these characters is gifted in different ways. Some of them may just sling a gun really well. Some
Mhm.
have psychic and dreaming abilities. Olivia, they call her Livy in Dream of Emerald Skies, has the ability to live in modern New York, but when at night she can focus and be an emerald where she's a detective working for the society and fighting a very psychologically crazy psychiatrist that wants her tools to, harness them from her. So I like that idea of how Marvel, especially modern Marvel, Kevin Feige, who runs, all of Marvel's production, boy, you have to give him props because I remember when Marvel was the lowly one and
Right.
trying to keep up with Superman and Batman of the 80s and 90s. And now Marvel's everything. They're still in a 20, 30-year plan to keep pooping out movies that are just amazing. So that's very inspiring to see this wealth of characters with different talents and it gives me plenty of ideas how their worlds are going to collide, and they're going to make guest appearances in different books, in different series of books, in each other's books.
My husband is in the live and he's like, "Where do I go and why?" I don't know. Where do you need to go?
Just go to the comments. You tap at the bottom and say something like "Hi,"
Tap, right, yeah.
and you just
So here,
tap the screen. You do this. You tap, tap, tap. There it
can you
goes. My hearts are going. There we go. I got it. Oh
tap
my
the
gosh.
screen like you're
It
playing
wasn't allowing me to
Pokemon, people?
tap. Hold on.
Tap,
Now I'm
tap, tap,
tapping.
tap, tap.
I'm
Pretend you're in
getting.
a battle with your Pokemon and tap the
Well,
screen.
finally, now this is going. Okay, I'm gonna tap till I get to 1,000. Hold on, or 100, because then it'll shoot confetti. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Hold on. You
Yeah,
ready? Okay, here it
I don't know.
comes.
Maybe
Do you see confetti? No, it's maybe just me. Okay, it's just on my side, but yeah,
it's
I
not
love
gonna.
it.
It's not gonna take. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, mine I had to tap
Like
actually like
that.
almost on my face. I was tapping down the comments. I was like, why isn't it working?
I,
So I had to tap
I
on
tap on
me.
yours though. Why can we
Let me
tap on
tap.
ours and not?
Yeah, I
Hmm?
can't tap on you. It tells me who you are, which I love. Creator and creative entertainment with a bite. I love that because you got your fangs in.
Yeah, of course, And usually, well, this is the first time that I've worn them on this show, but I thought, well, you know what? I think it's a good we made 3,000.
Woo!
Yes!
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Wow.
thank you. All right,
Woohoo!
so
Well, I broke
let's
400 over
see.
here, so this is
I
good.
know, right? Just get that going on there because so what is the big deal about for those who don't know, what's the big deal about getting the likes up there? What does that
So,
do?
so this is for folks that are new to TikTok. When you like someone's anything, where their posts, whatever, the algorithm does pick it up. When you're live and you tap on the screen, it raises the profile up so that people that are on TikTok and who they like, it helps them see, they push it out to more people to see who is live. So
Right.
when people like and share, it boosts your visibility. So, and for the creators, we really appreciate that because, you know, my I have some people that follow bedtime stories religiously. I have people that show up 2, 3 times a week to listen to me read, which is really flattering because books are another thing I love and I love to share them. So all those likes raise my visibility and more people can see, hey, oh, this is on. Let me jump in and see what this is about. And if it's something that interests you, then you'll be able to find it again. You can follow that person. If they are on a regular live schedule like I am, and I choose to go like on during the weeknights because people usually have trouble falling asleep and they want to be entertained before they go to bed
Right.
and they want to relax. So that's my niche and what people love, and I love books. So that fits in really well. But that way you can other people can find you and then or you can find other people and then join their lives, and it helps them immensely because then other people, it's just like this beautiful domino effect of people finding the different creators.
Okay, I'm recruiting over here. Like I'm literally on my laptop, which is part of the reason why the light gets really well, and then the light goes not so well. What advice do you give to those about creating in your modality? And you've been giving a lot of like fabulous advice. Is there anything else that you would like to pop on with before I go to the next subject matter?
Yeah, I'd be open to new things. There will be things you're like, this might be boring. Sometimes you have to open your mind to, like, let me investigate this a little bit. What is this about? Because I don't know, like I said, life is short, so I do things now that I never thought I would do. And that started happening like my early 20s. I'm just like, you know what? I went to England and it was my first plane ride and it was an 8 hour flight and I was stuck on the ground 2 hours before we left because a thunderstorm rolled in right before takeoff. So I was on this plane for 10 hours. But I got there and I was nervous as all get out. First time on a plane, first time in a foreign country, 2 months. But and I kept getting sick while I was there. I got the flu, but I still, man, I lost like 15 pounds, but I'm just like, I'm going. I'm going. Wake up and I'm just like stomach, ugh. But I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to drink some coffee and I'm out the door and I'm going to go to see Tower Bridge today. And so it's that, you know, fear of flying, fear of whatever is get over it and just jump in and do it. Try the new things. Try it. You'll be surprised where you find inspiration. It'll pop up in some weird
Absolutely.
places, like when you're in the bathtub on the toilet.
Do you know what I have taken to doing? Bringing in a whiteboard and a marker.
Yeah,
You know, just leave it on the sink. And if I come across an idea, which is usually, in the shower or something like that, because you say you like baths. I'm like in and out. I don't know. Vampires don't like to soak in anything. We kind of get a little nervous about that kind of thing.
yeah. I see
No.
Screenwriter John. Hey, welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for all of the likes and shares. Thank you to Sergeant Jackass and KR Chin. We appreciate you. Steampunk, it has its own language.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I love it. People will take things like, other terminology. Like you'll hear me say hello, lovelies. I think that sounds very kind of lovely and antiquated in a nice way. And a nice way of addressing people if you don't know if they're a he, she, or a they. And
Oh,
it
you
gets
know this
everybody, it gets a
perfect.
collective. Love
Yes.
it. And
Inclusive. Yes.
yes, I like it kind of got started about 5 years ago that people started saying stay splendid because, there was a lot of gatekeeping and things going on. And it's just a reminder to be mannerful. You can be punky. You can be a steampunk. You can
So what
cut
does
your
it mean
hair
to
and
be a
turn it purple.
steampunk, though? We talked about the outfits and all that, but what does it mean to be a steampunk?
It's you love the genre. You can be steampunky and still wear a business suit.
Yes.
You can, yeah, you appreciate the genre. Yeah, to be a steampunk, you probably, as a wild guess, you probably love history. Victorian history in particular. You probably love science fiction or sci-fi fantasy in some aspect. You probably love books, and you're probably either a gaming nerd or probably love movies and TV as well because kind of this modern era steampunk probably got started with the late 1960s, early 70s, the Wild Wild West TV show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
it gives you a good idea of how long it's been going.
yes, and then the modern going back to the words, the term steampunk came from a 1987 novel by J.W. Jeter, and he says something like these steampunks, and it stuck, and now we have this whole world built around steamy
Fabulousness of
science fiction. Yes, all kinds of fabulousness.
very, very,
Um,
yes.
I love going back to terminology too. People have picked up on a lot of old Victorian language and sayings and twisted around. I like to say a friend of mine who was a director and did they did their own online TV show for a while, and they used to say, "Don't be a brass hole," which I love.
Oh,
Don't be a brass hole. You
I
brass
might
hole.
steal that. Okay, steal that.
Yeah.
Okay, steal that.
And that was from the show was called Dirigible Days, and it is on YouTube for free. And they are Julie and her husband are an award-winning group of folks that do some film and screenwriting. And Julie's written her own a couple of steampunk novels. One of them is The Goddess Particle, and yeah, their series was really cool because they not a lot of people were doing it at the time. And I mean, we're talking the late early around 2010. They were shooting a steampunk series in the middle of Missouri and hired like some college students and other people who are kind of interested in the fandom to do it. And it got to be it was it's a wonderful like 6 or 7 part series, and it's on YouTube. It's called Dirigible Days.
let's see here. If you were to give your younger self advice, what would that be?
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be anxious. Do it. And don't let people put you down. I can think of one particular friend, and we're talking way long ago, who pretty much changed the trajectory of my life for a long while because of things she said that affected me so deeply. But I thought, oh, but she's my friend and blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. You got to watch out for the haters. Some of your best friends are your worst enemies. Sorry, that sounds very cryptic, but yeah, I learned that lesson a long time ago. So, but yeah, I would tell that little gal, keep it up. You got the gusto. You've got the oomph. You can do this. You can do this. You really can.
Any any questions I haven't asked you so far that you want our listeners to know? We've covered like a lot of stuff.
I think like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Does anybody else have questions, you guys? Do you want to put anything in the comments here before we wrap it up? Anybody? We got like a couple minutes. Anyone?
We made it to 5.3 thousand likes.
Yay!
Appreciate
I'm,
all of
yeah.
that.
Oh, wow. Thanks, guys.
Right?
Holy cow.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
We're doing good. Um, okay, so I have my last question to you. What has steampunk done for you personally? Your personal journey?
Oh, wow. Um, gosh, I get chills, and I know this sounds so cheesy. It has made me a better person. Like I said, the art, sometimes making art is a struggle. And, like I said, my dad passed away last year, but a bigger one would be, uh, I grew up with a mom and a sister who both suffered from multiple sclerosis. And growing up with a disabled mom was rough. And then as an adult, to see my sister also had that disease and also suffer from multiple addictions. And she passed at a time when I was doing my first steampunk installation art show with other artists. And so we had photography and sculptures and stuff. And I had championed and started the show and put it together, contacted all the other artists and ran the opening and had a huge my first fashion show. And this whole time, my sister was getting ready to pass. And also at the same time, there was somebody who had worked for me and kind of stole some ideas and
Hmm.
someone else. Yeah. And it was actually
Hmm.
two separate people and kind of infiltrated the local group. But I was blessed and lucky to have people that stood by me and helped me through it. And actually, to be with my sister while she passed was an act of grace and kindness that, you know, doing all of this and all of this happening again made me such a better person for it. And it has made me a better writer. I experience things very deeply. I'm an empath. I'm authentic. And again, I still screw up, but I'm okay. I made it to the other side
Look
and I
at
live
that.
it. Yeah.
It's you
I know
have
that's really probably very, very a deep answer, but it's all for real. And it's made me a much better person. I'm a much more forgiving, and I'm very passionate and driven about what I do. And yeah, so that's me.
so
I'm a little crazy.
Mr. Chin built a taser for a friend that was steampunk style, and they were banned from two cons. It worked perfectly.
Oh, that's cool.
It worked.
I
One of
would
the
I
things
would
that
love to
like
have one of those because right now crime's kind of high where I live. But
you might have just stepped yourself into a new business, Mr. Chin.
yeah,
And we are looking for side hustles, so
yeah. So I feel bad that they couldn't. I mean, and I understand why, and it's part of it's the culture we live in, that we have to be so careful. And I understand, we have to protect
I know,
people
right?
that are attending these events because all kinds of people do attend these events. And again, most places have the point where everybody is welcome unless you start hurting people, and in any form, from verbal to physical, it's not welcome. And
Welcome,
yeah.
welcome back, Miss MC11. We appreciate you. He
Mhm.
says, especially the defense system, a cop grabbed a barrel.
Oh my.
All
But
right, people, if you need one of these things, you might be able to get one. You know who to contact. We can't do any of this like, live or nothing because, and yeah.
shoot me a DM, right?
Hey, shoot me a DM.
Yeah, shoot me a message. And by the way, so yeah, all my contact information, guys, is in
Okay.
my bio. There's a link tree. It'll send you to my website. I'm still updating it. I'm going to be putting more items in it, and there'll be an invite for you to join the society by March 1st. So watch that. But all my social media links. If you're not on TikTok as much, I am on TikTok the most by far, folks. I just the response here is
It's instant.
better
It's
than
like,
yeah,
wow.
it's instantaneous. I am the organic reach is still here for the most part. It's oh, it was made from batters and wire. I love that. That's what
Oh, you can see
Steampunk
that.
She Show says.
Yeah.
Love that. Um, it's what was I going to say? So it's just better here. I to give you just an example contrast. I've been on Facebook since 2006. I started my pro page like in
Hi, Rhonda.
2012, and I could never get above 800, or I was always around 800. I had 800 in like 2 months or less on TikTok. It took me only a few months to get to 1,000.
Let
So
me
yeah,
see. I'm curious
thanks
as
for
to
the
where I'm
likes,
at.
guys. Yeah.
I know, right? I have 5,188 followers and 6,649 likes. Yay!
Yay!
That's
Nice.
cool.
I love it. Yeah, like I
Cool.
said, I'm knocking on the door of 10K. So I like to tell people the playlist, trying to get playlists is more, it's not about money with that. I mean, it'll help, but that way it's like if you want to find my styling tips, they'll be, steampunk fashion. If you want to find one of my books, you know, oh, you can, and oh, I love that She Show says, I can make you a taser from two. Like, oh, wow. 5-volt batteries and 18 gauge wire. Oh wow, I could use that probably.
So we're,
It's a little dangerous. Like one of my, Kate Church, my character carries a 10-foot bull whip, and at one point I just had costume whips,
yeah,
and
you're
it was
doing
funny. I
some.
had to
I'm
buy
trying. You
a
know what I'm
second
trying to
one
do?
because I
I'm trying
lost
to
one in my
use
apartment.
that onto the. You you what?
I lost a 10-foot bullwhip in my old apartment. I was doing another photo shoot with this particular character, and I needed the whip, and I couldn't find it. And I was still working for the costume shop at the time, and I had to go back and get another costume bullwhip. But now I want a real one, and I want to learn how. Oh, I love that, the laugh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shisho. And I'm sorry, I can't say the whole thing because violations, and yeah, I can't do
Where
that.
is it?
So
What's Let me think. Let me think here. Let me
the
see
costume
here.
shop.
Because I push levels. Okay. And if somebody's going to show up for me, I'm going to show up for them. So it's steampunk underscore shit show. Yeah.
Yes.
If you're going to say the name, say the name, say the name. But, I'm going to say the name for you because that's just the way I am.
Hmm.
Um,
And I
this
love it. He
is,
said the other phrase, my dear.
yeah,
Again, all those wonderful
yes,
Victorian
yes.
phrases come back. Yes.
Absolutely. So this is Jackie Chin. Me. I am doing a live The Indie Files with Jackie Chin, and we have been speaking with the Countess of Steampunk, the Steampunk Countess, Victoria, and she is absolutely a wonderful gem. I met her over on TikTok in December, I think, right?
Yeah.
December?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
was it
So
November?
November.
Time's going very fast, and December were a blur, but yes.
Everything is kind of going blip. So, and we usually do these shows on with Facebook Live and Zoom, but Zoom was like hella no today, from like
Speaking of
about
shit
8 o'clock
show,
on. And I will tell you something. Right before I came over here to hit the live on this tickety tuckety thing, it was working, and I was like, I went and I took all of my notes on the Facebook and I switched them over to the TikTok, and I'm like, I'm engaged now. I'm like, you know what? I was me. This is backstory me. I was all over the place with this thing. I'm like, yeah, okay, so I've done TikToks, and everybody does little short video kind of thing that's like 30 seconds long, and you can do that, not a big deal. But to actually do a full live show, I was like, hella no, hella no. Do I really have to do
you
this?
were wonderful. I had so much
Thank you.
fun. I can't believe we're going on like an hour and 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like,
we started at 7 and it is 20 to 9.
yes, East Coast.
Look at that. Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
think and thank the audience, you guys. It is thank
Absolutely.
you so much for showing up because like I said, this was, I had it planned on my page to go live along with the Zoom. And it turned out like, well, we're just going to go all live on TikTok with this and we're going to have a
Right.
blast. And yes.
So I'm trying to get a brand new platform going for me. It's with StreamYard. And StreamYard, I just found out recently they will allow you to do TikTok in your stream, along with a couple of other things like, like in LinkedIn or Instagram, I think, and Facebook. So I gotta figure out how I'm going to do that, because when I say I get nervous when I change platforms, even though I've been doing this since like 2008,
Mm-hmm.
it's still like deer in the headlights. You ever get like that? You tried something.
Yeah.
What was the last thing that you tried that was absolutely new, where you were deer in the headlights going, I don't have a choice in the matter. I have to push forward with this.
When Facebook was the only game in town, when they just killed and slayed everybody else. Anything that tried to do it, remember there was like, I mean, even people were trying to jump to MeWe recently, and
Oh, yeah.
there was Simile, there was something called Sow for a while. There was all these places would be like, oh, I'm gonna join, and you try it. No, everybody's still on Facebook until Facebook kind of killed themselves. But I remember doing that first Facebook Live when I could do it, and it just was like, oh wow, this
It's
is not fun. It was not,
no,
you
because
know.
it felt like you were talking to yourself.
It did.
But the
It
TikTok
did.
was still, you're talking to yourself. Is anybody gonna look at this? And if they do look at this, are they gonna go, oh my God, and do the scroll thing,
Yeah. And
or are they gonna stick
I
around?
kid you not, from the first TikTok video to the first live to going live, and there's some nights I have, it's crickets. I've got nobody, and I'll have one or two people pop in for a few minutes. To nights where, like I said, I think the biggest one I ever did was the lunar eclipse last year, and I was on for an hour and like 45 minutes. I had to stop and take a pause and go get a charger for my phone because I was outside in the middle of the night in downtown St. Louis, and at one point I had 30,000 people watching.
That's
Insane. And I had
fabulous.
like I think it was around 500,000 likes. It was just, and people from all over, and people were so gracious.
That
Thank you for
that's the
showing this.
beauty of
Yeah.
the TikTok. It is, I mean, we have our people that are on here that are just going to be the 10%, and that's just the way that goes. But the
Hmm.
majority of people that are on this app are genuine. They want to help, and they want to be able to see you grow and be happy.
Yes. Overwhelmingly so, too.
Yes. And there are people out there like, well, you can't form any relationships because, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can.
Hmm. I always thought if TikTok starts groups somehow, they're gonna annihilate Facebook for real.
Oh,
For
yeah, it'll
to
be
put,
gone. It'll be done.
they would just it would be done. And it's so funny to see all the groups on Facebook. The minute TikTok, how to do TikTok groups, and I just went, oh boy,
Hmm.
they're in trouble if they. And it wouldn't surprise me, just with my foresight, if they come up with something. So we will see. They're always evolving. They took the best of every other social media and put it in one package, and
Absolutely.
you know, and they let people run with it with organic reach, and look what it's got them. And I'm happy to be here.
I want to
I
show
meet all
you.
kinds of fabulous people like Jackie on here.
Look, wait a minute. Hang on, wait a minute.
Yes. Are you tapping?
How many likes?
Read 6,000.3 K likes.
6.3 thousand.
Yes.
Yeah. She's the one that did my lighting, so you might as well like put your face in there.
Hi.
Yay! Hi. I like it. It's you've got this beautiful goddess gothic thing going on.
Yeah, that's
A little
actually
bit. Oh, you also have a little bit of a widow's peak and the dark hair. Yeah,
It's
you remind me of Lavinia, my character in A Long Rain. You know,
I'm
that's
waiting for somebody to write me into a book.
I'm actually
Make me a character.
I love
I'm
it. You know how many models I've put on book covers, and they're just like, I want a copy for my mom, and I'm like, well, now just tell them, this is the
This
darker
isn't
book. So
your
there's,
mom might not
oh, she
like
loves
me.
dark romance. I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, the spicy level is like 1 to 5, like a 4. So yeah, we're getting up there. So
That's
spicy.
crazy. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I appreciate your time. Everything that you had put into this is it was fabulous. I cannot wait to get you onto um, StreamYard and be able to put stuff on this fabulous green screen back here that really is green. And because we have so much more material that we just did not cover because
Yeah.
of that. So,
Oh, the visuals, you guys, please, yes. Pop onto the
absolutely.
page. They're there.
I have a page on Facebook that is called The Indie Files with Jackie Chin. And everything that she is talking about so far is going to be put onto that page. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get the show itself, if there's a way to be able
Yeah.
to get that, to put that on there. How do I do that? Because I don't know how to do that.
Yes.
What do I do?
I will be chatting with you because I know how to get
So,
it
so
to
it'll
save
be
the
okay if
file.
I click out of this. It
Uh-huh.
will go to my phone,
It will be
or
saved in TikTok in your live center.
okay, I
And you'll
don't know
be able to
nothing about.
download everything we just did. And then you'll be able to pull it off your phone and use that like as an MP4 file, I believe, to save it, to run it on what other platform will take it, like YouTube. We'll do long format. You can put it in iMovie. You could put it in, I'm trying to think, yeah.
I'm
See,
learning stuff
listen,
here.
yeah.
Blink, blink.
That's the coolest thing is I learned doing short form video. Again, another thing with TikTok, learn to direct. And actually started with YouTube, but man, I've sharpened my editing and directing skills with TikTok like you wouldn't believe. It's one
All
thing,
right.
yeah, it's made me a better director, that's for sure. So,
How do I? Okay, so I'm going to say all
mhm.
the lovely niceties, but how do I? I don't know how to.
How to get out. Okay, I was going to say that when we were
I
finishing our tester before. So there's the off button in the upper right, the power button. So you have to hold it for a second, and then it will come up and it'll say, "You've got so many viewers. Are you sure you want to end?" And you unfortunately do have to say, "It's time to go. It's
It's
time for me
this
to
this
delete you."
timer looking thing that's up at the
Yeah, it's the circle with the line through it. It's the power
okay,
button. So you'll hit it and it'll say, "Do you want to end live now?" And which
okay.
this is the time I say, "Sleep tight, good night, don't let the bed bugs bite, stay splendid. Thank you, everyone. I am so grateful on my end, on my side. I got 1,200 likes, mostly from Steampunk Shit Show. Dude, bless you and your spouse. And again, dig up Big River Steampunk Festival. I know transportation's an issue, but maybe by August you can swing it somehow because the festival itself is free. So, and I will be there and the book will be debuting. I'm sure you'll hear more. Follow me. You'll see the production of it as I go along. It's going to be awesome. So, thank you, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank
Woohoo!
you. Woohoo!
Chest
We
kiss.
have 6.3 thousand likes on this side. Thank you so much for everybody who has popped into the live and left their questions and all of this. This is Jackie Chin with the Indie Files. We'll see you later.
Bye.